I don't know what I will say because all what I have prepared, Mr. Mugaga have said it, but I will try to repeat it, but I hope that it will not take time. So, as he said, the genocide committed against the Tutsi in Rwanda claimed over 1 million victims, while over 3 million people have fled the country immediately after the genocide. They were some in DRC, Tanzania, in Burundi, everywhere, even in America and in New York. The consequence of that is we had over than 120,000 suspects who were provisionally incarcerated waiting to be tried. So, given that situation, I can say that the most challenging problem that the government of national unity had was justice for genocide crimes. Even though there was a need of justice, we had no law repressing genocide crimes at that time. Another challenge was that the government institutions, including its justice system, was totally destroyed. Many judicial personnel had been killed during the genocide, and the surviving ones fled the country. Not only we had no personnel, but also infrastructures, files, etc. Everything was destroyed. But given this situation, the government had to find a solution in present of that situation. That is why in 1996, the government of Rwanda enacted a mechanic law, that one, organizing the prosecution of genocide crimes and the other crimes against humanity committed from the 1st October 1994 until December 1994. That law also created special chambers in ordinary and military courts to try these crimes. I think after this one, there is something which is not shown here, but it says that in collaboration with friendly countries, the government organized short course trainings for the people who will become judges and prosecutors, because it couldn't take 4 years to have a bachelor degree because of that situation or that current situation. So they were just short course trainings, like 6 months, then you become a prosecutor, you become a judge. So these specialized chambers began to try genocide cases in December 1996, but 5 years later, an assessment of the progress showed that only 6,000 cases had been tried and closed, which means that with this piece, it meant that it would take over 100 years to conduct the trial of the suspects who were already in prison. I think after that 100 years, even all witnesses, all the perpetrators, all will be dead. No one will be there to give testimony or to be tried. So the government, as they were saying, to find homegrown solution, the government of Rwanda found that there was a need to find a homegrown solution. Some countries were because before that situation, both parties, perpetrators and genocide survivors, were pleading for justice, even international communities. And some countries were even going to say that you are not able to try these people, it's better you give general amnesty to them. There were others who were so kind and were saying that give us to them who are able to try them and help you to try your people. And the government of Rwanda said that we have to find ourselves based on our homegrown solution and find a solution. So that way, Consultative meetings were organized by the Office of the President of the Republic at the Village Bureau between 9 May 1998 and 6 March 1996. Rwandans of various social interests were represented. Maybe the bishop was present there. So Rwandans of various social interests were represented in discussion, attempting to find possible solution to the challenges of justice. So that's when the Gacaca court, the idea of Gacaca court came. So that's why when the idea of Gacaca court came, it comes from those consultations. So they decided to put in place the Gacaca courts with these objectives: identifying the truth about what happened during the genocide. Because we were saying genocide, but we didn't know exactly how it was put in place, what happened, and so on. Because many information was gathered from the Gacaca process. The second objective was to speeding up genocide trials. The third one was fighting against the culture of impunity, because Rwanda had been so long victim of the culture of impunity. If it was not that, we couldn't have the genocide against the Tutsi, because before the genocide is put in place, it is prepared. So if we didn't have the culture of impunity, those preparations and so on could have been punished, which could prevent the genocide to be put in place. The fourth one was contributing to the national reconciliation and unit process. There is a fifth one. The fifth one is to show the capability or the capacity of Rwanda to handle themselves the problems. I think I can't have enough time to talk about the functioning and organization of these Gacaca courts, but what I can say is just judges in those courts were wise people who were elected by their neighbors. It was a voluntary work. They were not paid. And during the Gacaca process, there were a participation of all Rwandans aged 18 years and over. And the Gacaca process involved all classes and all categories of Rwandan society. And with the process of pleading guilty, repentance, and apologies programs, this one helps us to have the achievement that we have. There's something else before that. I think back there the penalties which was provided for in Gacaca courts, they were imprisonment and what we call TISH, alternative penalty to imprisonment. And they were also, for those who damaged properties, they were just asked to restitute or to give the equivalence to what they have damaged. And depending on the offenses which were committed, they were categorized. You had first category, second category. You had like about 4 categories, depending on the gravity of the offenses that were committed. Next. So, based on the above-mentioned objective of the Gacaca courts, we found that they have yielded marvelous results ranging from trials and contributing to national reconciliation, especially based on the truth among Rwandans. Mr. Mugaga has said that. So there is a table below which shows the cases which were handled by Gacaca courts, category by category. Yes. As I said, we had 3 categories. The first one shows the number of cases from first category which was handled by Gacaca courts. I think there's no need to read them. You can read this yourself. But as it shows, the table shows the number of cases total It shows, the second column shows the person who were convicted, and the other column shows those who were found guilty, no, who pleaded guilty or confessed their offenses. Because this pleading guilty, when you pleaded guilty, there was it has a positive impact because your sentence were reduced because you didn't, you helped the justice to have information. So in exchange, when you pleaded guilty, you have your offense reduced. They were Gacaca at first and second level or at appeal levels. So the other, show the next table. The next table shows appeals because the first table shows in total which kind of cases was handled by Gacaca courts. Among these ones, only 9% were appealed, and at appeal level, some were acquitted, 13% in the first category, 5% in the second category, and 10% in the fourth category, while others were found guilty, like as was the case at first level. Next. The Gacaca court also had what we call the fourth category, which was comprised by those who committed offenses against property, destroying property, damaging, and so on. So we had this, in total, Gacaca court handled this one. Among them, some were convicted, while others were acquitted. So after Gacaca courts, most Rwandans believe that Gacaca courts have magnificently contributed to their well-being, given the situation which was there before, and given the situation after Gacaca courts. We said that we are sure that Gacaca courts contributed to our well-being. To confirm this, a study was carried out to learn how Gacaca has worked, basing on each of its objectives. So So based on the 5 objectives, the research showed that the research was conducted by the Center for Conflict Management of the National University of Rwanda. So the research showed that for finding out to disclose the truth about genocide, it scored 83.5. On the objective of speeding up of genocide trials, we have 87%. Putting an end to the culture of impunity, we have 86.4. While strengthening unity and reconciliation, we have 87.3. Demonstrating the capacity of Rwandans to resolve their own problems, we have 95%. And the total average of the achievement of Gacaca courts is scored at 87.84%. Some of the outstanding value and lessons highlighted during the Gacaca court process, we found that Gacaca courts shown the self-confidence and hope among Rwandans. It shown also, it helps to try a huge number of genocide suspects within a reasonable time, because Gacaca court started in 2002 and were closed in 2012. However, The trial, the real trial of Gacaca court started in 2005. The lesson also, we learned the lesson on Gacaca. Gacaca court helps us to know better about human rights. It helps also to, it's shown also the courage of those who hid, those who were being hunted during the genocide. Because during the Gacaca process, everyone was asked to say what he did, what he saw, or what he heard. So, because of Gacaca court, many people were identified as having high-risk people who were hunted to be killed. It helped also to find hidden bodies, and that helped to bury them with their dignity. And also, with this alternative penalty to imprisonment, the prisoners did so many works which contributed to the building of our country. They made roads, construction of hospitals, schools, and so on. And also it was a way of strengthening our unity and reconciliation, especially with that process of being guilty and confession. In conclusion, I can say that Gacaca has been an important phase in the history of our country. Gacaca revealed the truth, and the truth from both sides, the perpetrators and survivors, the truth from witnesses, as well as from the whole community. We say that justice is rendered in the name of people, but when you look at that in the classic justice, you find that people play a little role in the rendering of justice. But with Gacaca courts, we find that it's really a justice rendered in the name of people, because all Rwandans played a role in that process. Gacaca also giving the success of Gacaca courts, as Mr. Mugaga mentioned. We have now a similar model, that is the mediation committees, which are committees established on each cell and each sector of our country, and they are in charge of handling some minor offenses and some minor claims before introducing them before courts. And I can tell you that the majority, like about between 70 and 80% are resolved by the mediation committee, so without going before courts, and that helps Rwandans in having justice easily. Finally, I can quote the President of our Republic. When he was closing Gacaca court's activities in 2012, he said that Gacaca, granted, had its imperfections. It received the criticism both from within and outside Rwanda, yet those criticizing offered no viable alternatives that could deliver the results we needed. Despite all this, Gacaca has served us very well and even exceeded our expectations. I think after this quotation, I can't say anything else except thanking you for your kind attention.
You are the only one who can do this. You can undo it. Undo it. Who can undo this? Yes. Yeah. Otherwise,
thank you very much.